And that's a good question. If you want to start brewing, when a new set happens, what's your plan? What's your game plan? How am I going to win? What two card combos are working? How do we even pitch? What do I block? How do hands work? To be honest, choose hero, get started, brew technique. Here we go. First up on the brew table, it's the young version of Lexi. This matters. uh, First of all, we're going to try Blitz. You know, it's going to be very difficult to actually get a CC deck going before you know the intricacies of actual cards that are played in the class. So, for me, even though I'm thinking that Ice Lexi will be the CC class, Lightning Lexi is the first up on the menu. How do I beat my opponent? How do I do it? And what are the dex constraints that coming up from my from the second point? How do I do that? So brush B is the game plan. I want to brush down my opponent. How do I do that? Shoot 2 arrows at a time. So my deck needs to be mostly arrows, and I'll get back to that in a bit. What my pitch values need to be. So the wheel technique, I've mentioned it before and earlier, and now I'm doing it by myself so I can fly through it. But it's what's my game plan? How do I execute it? The equipment, core, and side. So my game plan is, and for this, what do I need to know? I'm going to shoot 2 arrows each and every turn. And how do my hands pitch? And what do 2 card hands do? Because at some point you're going to be pressured, and you need to know what 2 card hands will do to pressure back my opponent, and how am I going to close down the game? How am I going to win with 2 card hands? Well, my hands are going to pitch as following. So I'll Voltaire strike because I want to, you know, I'll actually, here, I want to shoot 2 arrows. That's my game plan, right? How am I going to do that? Voltaire strike twice. So I need 2 pitch at least. If I want to go, I have a terrible itch. If I want to pitch 3, a blue card, I only have 1 resource left. So I need 1 0 cost card, and I need a 1 cost card, or I need 2 0 cost cards and this Heart of Ice. Because Heart of Ice actually makes me push through damage, because sink below for 1 is terrible. So this is also something to consider. This Rush B plan, how do we achieve it? They should be able to block easily. So make sink below cost 1 more. That's part of my game plan. So this is a card that should be in my deck. So Heart of Ice is it's not a Oldham card, it's a Lexi card. Quote me on that one. So my game plan and the build around Majestics, because I believe the core of this game is build around Majestics with the backbone of the rainbow cards, and I'll get back to that one in a bit. So, and also the order, I'm still figuring out how I should do this by myself, but the deck building constraint, which we'll also get back to in a bit, it should be mostly arrows in this deck, right? And I want to have a few buff cards that are just so demanding, so taxing due to on-hit effects from my opponent, that if I have a 4 card hand, it would be oppressive, because it's 2 arrows, 1 pitch, and 1 buff card. Those buff cards need to be oppressive, need to have huge on-hit effects. My opponent knowing that if he blocks the first one, he needs to block the second one, or he'll discard a card with poison the tips, or he'll actually get his arsenal destroyed and whatever from Seek and Destroy, also buffing that first attack. But the actual build around card is 3 of Kind. With Voltaire Strike, Voltaire the bow, I can actually pitch 1 blue card, 3 of a kind, have 2 0 cost arrows, but me drawing into buff slots. So it's like play a buff card, 3 of a kind, Voltaire, shoot those arrows. Maybe even with another card in it that has reload on hit, actually achieve effect there. I can shoot 3 arrows. But now finally we have a bow. Too bad it's locked in for elemental ranger that can actually make the best use of 3 of kind. So this is my game plan. This is my build around Majestic, right? The equipment again, Voltaire. This is core to everything, and at one point, bullseye braces will make it possible to have a 3 card turn or a 3 arrow turn, and 3 arrow turns are with Voltaire buffs, bottom shot. They're in the order of magnitude of 15 damage. Now, what I said prior, that's only 10 damage with 3 cards. It will go up to 14-ish with a +3 buff, take aim, seek and destroy, and kind of figure out which the third one. Maybe raise reflex. I'm still testing and I'm searching. But those are all the plus effects that I have. So mostly it will be one arrow that's straight up 8-ish, 9 damage each and every turn, which will push through hopefully enough damage that I can keep this up each and every turn. So New Horizon for me, what I notice is that it's mostly block 2. You don't have time in Blitz to actually load up that arrow or arsenal at that end of turn, and then the next turn have that still on arsenal, and then do something, or not shoot the arrow that you used on Voltaire. But blocking 2, that's why the perch grab is in. Now I have Blade Break 5, with with the Ice Heart. I'm trying to keep behind because it's so useful in making those defense reactions useless. So Blade Break 4 for a Ranger going up to 24. That's a lot. That's a lot of extra HP that I have to work with. Actually, it's upwards of 20%. Yeah, it's upwards of 20. Quick math. So that's really interesting for me, and also padding on my life total. So I've done some testing, of course, which I'm okay. We'll come to that in a bit. So what's the core is there's 1 cost and 0 cost arrows, because what I've mentioned earlier, let me see. Yeah, here. What do those 2 card hands do? Voltaire, and I have 2 pitch and maybe the Ice of Heart, so it's mostly 0 cost and 1 cost arrows. What I will use is Bolt and Shot. Then this card has Go Again. It's a new card. Let me just. It's a new card in the set, and it gains Go Again if it has a higher attack value than its base value. So Voltaire actually makes this red arrow a 5-tech Go Again from itself, and if it hits, it has Reload, which makes the next arrow free, which I don't have to use the Voltaire with. So the Sleep Dart or the Remorseless can get through without it actually needing a resource. Maybe this frees up the resource for the Ice Heart, or actually I'll just still won't reload it and use Voltaire to buff this Remorseless or Sleep Dart to 6. Sleep Dart being useful due to chain being so prevalent in the meta. Or actually Ira not getting that +1. Still looking at Blitz. I think the CC class will be Ice Lexi, but Lightning Lexi with the Voltaire arrow bow is really interesting. It caught my attention. I just had to make this video. So what's the side that's way too early to tell? Shoring up weaknesses. I don't know what weaknesses are of the deck. Maybe eventually we'll need some type of take cover or other arrows or whatever. But what it did do, what I did notice, and what makes blocking much easier is that because you have, I think the mix-up will be 75% arrows and 20% these buff cards with 3 of kind somewhere in there. You're actually having a ranger who can block. But the earlier builds of ranger, and especially Blitz Azalea, was go tall, and then you have all these take aim, other buff effects that only block for 2. Which makes blocking against the Rintier really, really hard. So we have to take this also in perspective, right? The meta at that time was you have to block 3, +3, you have to block 6 or 9 to actually stop the Rintier in its tracks, or else she will straight up kill you. And what ended up happening was that Warrior straight up killed Ranger. Now that Runeblade is Runeblade also with Briar having ridiculous cards per chain, yeah, Runeblade will show more, and this will give Ranger a spotlight, in my opinion. So, interesting times to play Flesh and Blood. But well, mostly it's too early to tell what the weaknesses are because I don't know what the absolute strength of this deck is. What it does do, shoot 2 arrows with 3 cards in hand, so you have 3 block. And if you don't need to block or you think I'll just soak everything, hopefully it's Poison Tips or Take Aim or Seek and Destroy, which buffs that first arrow up front, and the next arrow is buffed up by Voltaire. Absolute banger of a bow. So VOP for me, Voltaire, I said it multiple times, and Bolton Shot. It's that it has a sick shot, gets go again from itself, but Bolton Shot in combination with Voltaire, loading it into your arsenal, gets go again just from this 2-card combination. This is what makes Lexi tick in Blitz. My opinion, hot take. If you want to try it, at least have Rainbow Bolt and Voltaire and proceed from there on out. Of course, Ice Heart also being really strong in stopping those sink blows and flick flags, especially in Blitz. So, my last final slide of the is always what makes Flesh and Blood a great game is that it has a bit more mature audience, so it's easy to be gracious in defeat and humble in victory. I don't know, it comes with age. Sometimes you're just more relaxed with losing and just saying, I've had a blast just from learning the game and having a small chat with my opponents. It's the small things in life that actually make you happy instead of the grander and larger things like winning, whatever. As long as you have fun, right? So go start building your version of your favorite hero to match your local meta. And now with actually Tales of Aria, Ella, around the corner, I think you should pick one hero, focus on that one, make it work, make it tick, know what your opponents are in your local meta playing, fine tune it to that, and have a hoop while you're at it. Cheers.